Thank you so much for watching Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, where we inspire Uganda. It's the 21st of August 2017. This is yet another edition here on UBC where we inspire Uganda. I'm your host, Alice Namatovu, OTAI, and Ronnie Santos will be joining me shortly. On this edition of Sports Galore, we do have a lot, of course, on our local sports, including the boxers, the bombers being flagged off at National Council of Sports to go to Germany to represent this country at the World Championship in Germany, and of course, Rwanda dominant in the KAVC International that ended at the Lugogo Indo Arena over the weekend on Sunday. And of course, the Cranes qualify despite loss to Rwanda. Uganda, that game ended 2-0 over the weekend in Rwanda, but despite of the results, Uganda Cranes did qualify for the Africa Nations Championship in Cameroon. We do have a lot on our international sports too, but before we get to all that, we do have an interview from somebody very special from Germany. He has come here in Uganda for a very special cause. Coach Daniel, good afternoon.
Thank you, Alice. Good afternoon.
How has been your journey coming to Uganda, and why did you choose to come to Uganda?
Thank you. So my name is Daniel Pfaff. I'm from Germany, and I'm here to work on a very interesting project, which is called the Intercities Project.
Okay.
So I wanted to do something or to work in Africa to help develop the football here.
Yeah.
And I came across that project, and I really was interested in it. So what we're trying to do is to have a regional football tournament to work with all the communities and the regions, have them compete against each other, and give the young Ugandans a chance to present themselves. Because when you compare the structures here to Germany, for example, you have a lot of youth leagues in Germany. It's very well structured, and in Uganda you don't have that. You have a lot of talents, you have a lot of potential, and a lot of good players, and there's a lot of room for development. But we need to bring this to Uganda. So this tournament should provide the young Ugandans a chance to present themselves on a national stage to the big clubs in Uganda, but also to the global clubs like European clubs or American clubs, to give them a chance to identify the best players during the tournament and give them a chance to play on a trial with their club.
Alex Manby was here a while ago in Uganda, and he was absolutely amazed with the quality of talent Uganda has. A lot of people have come through to look at the coordination of the Intercities and of course Uganda Youth Football League, headed by Coach Moses Chibirango. What do you think you can change with what is going on with the Intercities, of course, with football around the country? And of course, I think this morning you went to see one of the bright stars that Uganda is looking at, Pius Obuya.
Yes, so of course I also worked with Alex together, and they did a great work when they launched the Intercity U17 tournament, where actually Pius was scouted back then in January. So he's now playing for Maroons Football Club.
Yes.
And has a great second half of the season. So that tournament that we launched in January provided a lot of very young Ugandans a chance to present themselves, with the result that 3 players got or signed a contract for a professional football club. So this tournament only targeted the young Ugandans, but now we also want to we also target the older ones, like 18 and above, to give them a chance to present themselves. So I think with the U17 tournament being a success, I think this tournament can be a great achievement for the country and a great development for the country. And it's not just the football tournament. So we can also we also work with FUFA and want to offer trainings for the coaches, for referees, in order to get the FUFA licenses.
Last weekend you were at FUFA House.
Yes, last week.
Yes. How did that go?
It went really well. So I think we could convince Mr. Edgar Watson from our concept. So we're now working on the final details in order to launch the project. And once we have that done, I think we can go out to the communities work with the government in order to launch the project and get everybody on board that we need to in order to organize that tournament.
How will the German teams come on board to support the intercities?
So we are currently in conversations with Hoffenheim from Germany. I think they currently play the Champions League qualifications against Liverpool, and yeah, as you can see, there are great pictures from one of the centers. I think the
Where
pictures.
Were you there?
That was at one of the centers from the Uganda Youth Football League.
Okay.
And we provided a lot of materials and equipments to the kids. Yeah, and they were very excited about it. We had a lot of competitions, and we had a lot of fun there. So I think in order to keep this going, we need to launch that bigger tournament in order to support that social projects at centers around Uganda and around Kampala.
You've been to different centers. I think you went to Nakawa on Saturday. You've been to Naweru. You've been to Chibuli. What do you think about football in general in Uganda?
So I have really to admit that the kids are super motivated. You also see here a video of two of the most skilled players that I've seen so far. I think his name was Isaac, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm sorry for that. But no.
Look at how skilled that young boy is. Only 16, I think 16
years old. He was 16 years old. And he's very talented. We did that juggling competition. And you can see there's a lot of potential out there. But there are not the structures to identify those talents and to bring them out to the bigger teams.
Okay, if Uganda had the facilities that Germany has, okay, now that Germany won the World Cup.
Yes.
Do you think we can be able to win the World Cup?
Of course. I mean, everybody can win the World Cup. I think you need a team that is really willing to give everything to win that title. Of course, there's a lot of competition out there. There are a lot of countries out there that want to win the tournament. But I think if you develop the football structures and if you develop the facilities and provide the facilities to the kids and have a youth structure in order to identify that young talents, also the national team will benefit from that. So as you can see here, they're very talented and very skilled. So we need to focus on those talents, provide them with better options. I don't think
there's a pitch like that in Germany that would let any team play on that sort of pitch.
No, like even the lower leagues, I would say have better pitches than I saw at the centers.
Or they have natural grass?
Both. It depends. Like it depends on the club, on how much money they have. But most of them have natural grass. Okay,
Coach, how will the teams like Hoffenheim and Kaiserslautern be able to help the Intercities project?
So we're currently looking to bring them here or to convince them to work as an ambassador for the project, and also to motivate the kids to give their best, but also to teach them that you need to give 110% in order to reach your goals, but also to show the kids that there's an option out there. There's an option to go get into professional football, and that they have to work on the skills. So I think if we can convince the German clubs to come here and do marketing tours like Everton did, for example, recently and in East Africa, I think that's a great thing for the kids and a great thing for the Ugandan football and in general the East African football.
What really motivated you to come for Intercities? Leave Germany, your busy schedule, everything that you have there? You look young, you could have been out there in clubs getting a beer, but you decided to come to Uganda and make sure that you have something you're giving back to the community.
Yes. So
why would you choose that?
That's also a good question. So I thought about it a lot, and I think we live a very privileged life in Europe, and I think there's a lot of places out there that don't have that options and opportunities that we had when we were young. So I think it's our tasks and our responsibility to give something back and help other regions to develop. And that's what motivated me to come to Africa. When it comes to the Intercity project in general, I read about it online and I was very happy to see the results of the U17 Intercity tournament. I talked a lot to Alex and Moses about the project, and decided that it's a good project to support and come here to Uganda on site to support a project locally.
Okay, you've been at Maroons Football Club. That's
Yes.
the team that has been promoted to the toppest league
Yes.
in Uganda.
Yeah.
They were playing in big league, and
it's
now
Super
they
League.
are playing, okay, let's say like Bundesliga
Yes.
2, and now they're playing in Bundesliga.
Yes.
And what do you think about the quality of players?
So I was able to watch the training session today,
Yeah.
this morning,
Yeah.
and I think it was a really, really good training session. I was also, as you said earlier, able to talk to Pius, who's one of the players
Yes.
that got scouted in January. And he, like, just to give you an example, in 8 so he joined the professional football in January, and in 8 matches he was able to score 7 goals, and was also promoted to the U17 national team.
Yes.
Where he also scored 3 goals in 2 matches. So I think that's a great achievement. And when you see that kids out there, and that especially Maroon Football Club, I think there's a lot of potential that they can stay in the league this year.
Okay, when are you still here for a week or so, 2 weeks?
I'm here now for almost 3 weeks, and I will be here until the end of this week.
Okay.
And but I'm looking forward to come back next year in spring.
When do you return?
The plan is to come back in March.
In March.
March, yes.
Okay.
Because I heard there's a great opportunity,
Yeah.
and there's a great match. FC Minneapolis is coming here to Uganda to play against the Cranes, the national team.
Cranes, yes.
And we also plan to have the match of the U teams and of the best teams from the centers to compete against each other, to give them also a stage where they can present themselves. And I think it's a good chance and a great chance to be here when this happens, and also when I'm back home to work with German clubs to convince them maybe to send some scouts here and agents, or also come here personally to look at the huge potential we have here.
Okay, kids out there that watch UBC, as we are the national broadcasters in this country, what would you be able to say to them? Because with you having discipline, this is how you've managed to come to Uganda, yet you've never been here before.
Yes.
And say, let me give hope to another kid out there. What can you be able to say to kids who want to be able to play football?
Yes, so first of all, you have to be disciplined and work hard in order to achieve your goals. Always believe in your dreams. But also watch out for the next news about the project. Once we launch the project, stay in contact with your communities to get on the city team, and then it's up to you. You have to give your best on the pitch and try to convince us that you're one of the best players. So we will have regular votings for players of the week, goals of the week. And if you do your best and if you give your best, I'm sure we'll be in contact soon in order to provide you better opportunities.
Okay, from when you leave this Friday, what is the Intercities expecting from your camp until when you return next year?
So I'm sure we'll stay in touch with Alex, and because Alex, for example, is not here as well at the moment.
Of course.
So he's supporting us from abroad. But I will stay in contact with Moses. I have another friend coming soon to Uganda as well, who's supporting the project. So I hand a few things over to him and try to sort out things from Germany. So we establish an office there so that we can cooperate with better with Moses here locally. And I think that's a great first step. And then we also work with organizations here, German organizations. So we've been to the German embassy.
Okay. How positive was that?
The first reaction was really, really positive from the German embassy.
Okay.
So we're now looking forward to get more contacts from more organizations. Like, for example, Friedrich Ebert Stiftung. I think that's also a really, really good organization that we're looking forward to hear from. Because we also want to use that project and the tournament to raise HIV awareness, political awareness, and also teach the kids alongside the project.
Coach Daniel, thank you so much for being here at UBC, and I hope to see you again in March, or you'll be back in November.
In March, but my friend's coming in November, so I'm sure he will do a great job here as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Alice. It was great to be here.
Okay, stay tuned to UBC, where we inspire Uganda. Peter OTAI and RONNIE SANTOS will be joining me shortly. Stay tuned.
We need to go to Earth now. We've been hiding here too long. Let's go to our rightful home.
Be careful of mankind, Diana.
Everybody run! Why am I going so slow?
Life's random as it is deliberate, funny as it is tragic.
I know.
What do you want?
I want to ask you some questions.
Jesus Christ! Really? What happened to the seatbelt rule?
Catch a glimpse of the best music hits, ones and twos. Music for the moment right here on African Bank Express. Feel the groove.
I am confident, charismatic, and spontaneous with the aura that is not about to burn out yet. In fact, I'm so excited. I mean, come on guys, look at my face. In fact, I'm about to break out into a song, but I'll save you guys the horror because my voice... Hello guys, my name is Drago. Join me and Zuleika as we unveil for you Uganda's A-listers in a way that you've never seen before. Every Thursday, 9:30 p.m. This is Chilling.
Thank you so much for staying tuned to UBC, where we inspire Uganda. We had an interview already from a German-based coach who has come here in Uganda, of course, to do coordination with the Intercities project that's going to run come beginning of next year, 2018. OTAI and SANTOS are here with me for this edition of Sports Galore. Gentlemen, the week was amazing despite a few negative sports results.
Yeah.
SANTOS?
Yeah, it was a wonderful week. Uganda Cranes qualified.
Yeah.
However, we lost. But elsewhere, some teams won. Alvaro Morata is winning. Lacazette is losing, like I told you.
Okay.
Lukaku is scoring. He's actually the top scorer.
Okay. Peter, how was your weekend?
It was good. It was actually very good, very busy. We had a lot of football in that is from the Premier League over the weekend. 3 games I commentated on Saturday. Then we had a live commentary match from Rwanda, courtesy of Derek Katlego. And also Sunday was a very busy one, Spurs up against Chelsea. And I have to say, yeah, it was a good one. Also on volleyball, we had a couple of interesting games that were played at the different venues here in Uganda. That is the Kampala Amateur Volleyball Club international event. So, yeah, it was a good weekend.
The Bombers went to Congo about a month ago.
Yeah.
And out of 10 boxers, we had only 3 qualify for the finals for the World Championship in Germany. On the starting on the 25th, Kakande, Kaketo, and of course Kakande, Ayiti, and of course Kaketo were the fighters that qualified to go for Germany. What do you think of Team Uganda that has gone to represent this country, who were flagged off at National Council Sports?
Well,
on the 20th.
I don't want to lie live on national TV, but I don't expect a lot from the Ugandan boxers who have actually gone down to Germany for the World Championships.
Heavyweight, Ayiti.
Remember, here we are going down to fight against the best in
the
the world.
best in the world,
the
yes.
best in the world. But the question remains, how prepared are you to actually face the best in the world?
Uganda did face the best in Africa, and we got a gold medal, a silver, and a bronze.
Yes, we did. But right now, that's Africa. We're now going to fight against the best in the world. Like I've said, I don't expect a lot. I don't expect a lot from our very own Bombers. I don't think if they've been prepared enough. Going to the games in Congo, we actually prepared for a very long time.
Yeah.
Then the games were pushed a little bit, then they came back. So the preparation was spot on. I have not had a lot of preparations from the same boxers ahead of the World Championships. For me, it is no go area for the Ugandan side. I really have to say it truthfully. I don't expect a lot from the Bombers.
Yeah, Uganda did surprise us at the IAF Championship, whereby we got a silver medal. Uganda is always full of surprises, but in boxing there are no surprises. These days they had introduced the computer scoring machine, and then all of a sudden it was removed. And then, you know, the changes in boxing are always there. But are you also not having confidence in the team? We have the heavyweight, Ayiti, you have Mohamed Kakande, and of course Muzamir Kakande, and then Geoffrey Kaketo.
I think I'm actually opposite to OTAI. These guys are going to perform. Winning at the African Championship in Congo Brazzaville, it is a very big credit.
We were dominated at the Africa qualifiers in Congo.
Yeah, but that gold that we had and 2 silver medals,
a silver and a bronze,
it's why we qualified, and these boys have whatever it takes to go on and win even gold.
You have teams like Morocco, Cameroon, Ghana, Gabon that have over 10 fighters that qualified. You have Mexico, you have Cuba, you have Team USA, you have England that have a lot of money, and for them amateur boxing means a lot.
Yeah, with the statistics on the table, actually we are not favored. I think we last picked a medal in 1974, that was in Cuba. But that is not news now. What makes news is our boys let them go, do the job.
Go get beaten and come back.
No. Go win some medals and come back. I remember.
How do you win medals when you haven't invested in the medals?
Oh, look here, Alice. One day actually in the London Olympics, we had more than 20 guys, 20 athletes who went, performed, and actually lost. We only had one man standing, and it was Kiprotich, running for the last man for Uganda, and he won the best medal.
Yes.
So I don't want to rush I don't want to judge quickly. Let's wait for these guys, go there, perform. I believe in them, and qualifying means you have whatever it takes to win. So Kaketo Zamil can as well go on and perform.
I really like the statement.
Team Germany, you have Belgium, you have all these countries, you have England, you have Venezuela, you have Cuba, you have Mexico, you have the US that have teams that have over 20 boxers that are fighting at different categories.
Yeah, like I said, I really like the statement that you actually put up a little while ago, that how do you expect medals without investing in the medals? Like I've told you, yes, the Bombers actually have a few sponsors. They have a few sponsors, but those sponsors are not enough, by the way, to guarantee success for the fighters who are going to...
Individual sponsors, including...
a few betting houses came through to actually support.
I think Betway, you have another betting company, and then you have Buchana. There's a gentleman in Muyenga who keeps consistently giving money to the boxers. He says he's very passionate about boxing, but he only specifically wants to invest in the amateurs.
But in this case, OTAI or Aris, whether Germany has 20 or 40 and we have one, I don't think Kaketo will fight with 10 people. He will fight with one at the end. What do we need? We have 3.
Santos, you fight one at a time, and the people they bring for you have got excessive experience when it comes to amateur team.
What matters is beat the one you get. We have 3 people representing.
How do you defeat who you have in front of you?
We have 3 athletes.
Yes.
Raising our flag.
You have.
If we get 3, actually, if we get 1 medal out of 3.
You have welterweight, and you have a bantamweight, welterweight, and then you have heavyweight.
Yeah. So if we can get 1 medal out of 3, whether Germany gets 5 out of 20, to me it will be a credit. Let's actually believe in these boys. They can do whatever we need, and they are the best people we have. So we should not actually wish to have more, because this is what we have, and I think we should thank God. These boys are there for us.
Hassan Alwi, and Joseph Kamia in Subaru N14 became the first crew to win 2 national rally championships this season. In Hoima, it was blazing, like you can see the pictures on the screens there. But to the surprise of many, Sebuguzi was there. There's Kalule, there's another gentleman who's an upcoming rally driver called Kalule, was in there as well. There's quite a few business people these days that are investing money in motocross and are also trying to become drivers in the motocross calendar. But indeed, it was Hassan Alwi to snatch the win.
Yeah, Hassan Alwi is, I can say, one of the favorites to actually go down and dominate motor rally in this region. He managed to win the rally in Kayunga, and also has gone on to win the rally now in Fort Porto. That is the Kabalega rally, which is currently becoming one of the most hyped up motor rallies in Uganda as per now. But for Hassan Alwi, born in Arua, I think he has gone on to I can say become one of the best, because he's currently in the footsteps of his father. His father was also a motor rally in those good old days. So I think it's the passion that he has gotten to maybe steer his car very well. The most interesting thing that I heard about Hassan Alwi is that their grandfather actually told them not to go to the sport of motor rally, but the father went to motor rally. Now Hassan Alwi is also in motor rally. So I think he's actually doing very well. There are very few people who actually know that Hassan comes from West Nile, and I think the people of West Nile will be very, very proud that their very own son is actually giving them, I can say, some pointers in motor rally in this country.
Okay, how was the definition of excitement? A lot of crowd. This time there was not too many people at the rally, but the sponsors keep continuously investing money in the rally. And one thing that surprised me was there was a lot of drivers.
This is Yusuf. This is actually Yusuf's car that got burnt And this is how important it is. Yes, Yusuf Kenya.
Yes.
This is where the safety does apply a lot in motorsport in this country. You realize that when Yusuf's car was actually burning, that is the boot where they put the fuel tank, actually caught fire. And I really like the urgency from the fire marshals. You can hear the whistles, they're blowing the whistles, so every fire marshal had to pick up a fire extinguisher to make sure that they save the car.
OTAI, basically what we are doing in Uganda is copy Formula One sort of pit stops and everything, but for these people in Uganda, the fuel is in their boots.
Yeah, you have to travel with fuel. This is motor rally. This is not like the circuits that we see in Formula One. You have to carry your fuel here.
But
you have to go with
what I was told, these people, they have their own mechanical team that comes along with them, and they find pit stops to stop and refuel.
It's a must. You have to have a very good rally. That is a very good support staff team to make sure that you're sorted out in areas of fuel, areas of, I can say, tire changing and everything. But if you go down and look at this circuit, this is a circuit that is within. This was an area within. You saw earlier on.
Sorry, Yusuf Bukenya is sponsored by Reham, Rockbone.
Yes, and there you go. And they have not been performing badly. They have not been performing badly, but again, this bad luck that actually came to them over the weekend is something they will not forget. I actually managed to see some videos of Yusuf. He looked like one who wanted to cry, but he was told to calm down, to be like a man. He's very lucky that I think the engine was not affected. It's basically the element of the fuel tank. That's where the fire began from. So it did not spread. So you have to give credit to the fire marshal team and the team that worked. I think it's a fire and safety appliance there you can see. They worked very well to save the car. So you have to give them credit for making sure that Hassan's car, Yusuf's car rather, is not burnt to ashes.
Santos, a lot of drivers now are purely businessmen who are not fit enough to be driving. They have huge bellies, but they go and say, I will buy myself a car of 400 million and I will go and drive. Is there any sort of qualification for these drivers that say want to go and drive?
Yeah, that is a very big problem.
Okay, and, you had Charlie Lubega, who was, he was fit.
Yeah.
But back in the days, there was Karim Hirij. These days, there is Kaye Richard, the owner of Kaye Property Consultants. Yeah. And of course, other businessmen that if they can afford a car, they say, look, I need to go take off the stress and I drive. Do you think it's wise enough?
Of course it is not. And this goes to the federation. Uganda Motor Rally Champion. I think the Uganda Motor Federation, is it Uganda Motor Rally Federation? They have a very big challenge in this, as in they have to say.
It looks like if you can afford a car, you can drive and pay the money.
In this case, they have to actually revise it, either amend what is needed to become part of this, to participate, and put there some, for instance, qualifications. Want to drive, must do this. And to drive, you have to get some qualifications, whereby we shall have the people who qualify to drive. You are talking about having actually a few number of people.
They don't rehearse. They don't go and do some practices. What they do, they know the rally is in Hoima. Yes, I have my car, I have my fuel, I registered, I have the money to go all the way. Here I am going for the rally. Pirotai.
Yeah, I think it's the federation has tried very much to go on such areas to streamline everything. That's Yusuf there, almost crying. The most important thing, if you want to take part in motor rally in this country, I think you have to pay a subscription fee. There has to be a fee for you to pay. And two, you must have a car. Because you just cannot go and
it's the car and the money, period.
There are very many things that actually are looked at. The car has to be screened to see that it's actually safe to be driven, because there is the two-wheel category and there's a four-wheel category.
Yes.
That is the element we are looking at, because I think here we are driving the four-wheel category. So if you want to go down and drive in Uganda, you must have a car that meets the minimum standard to actually compete in. So it's not all about waking up in the morning. Yes, you have a car, you can now pay the subscription. They have to look at elements. There are elements of how are your driving skills, first of all. How are your skills? Yes, how good are you at safety driving? How good are you at, I can say, defensive driving? So it's not an element of just saying, I have my money, I have a car, let me go and register. No, there is a specific procedure that has to be followed before you can actually go down and begin racing in Uganda.
Karim Heritage had one of the figures that I wouldn't really want to talk about, but he was in motocross at
size.
And then you have Richard Kaye. Do you know that gentleman?
Yes, I know. I know.
Like?
You see,
he would have a heart attack on.
No, you see, it's all about passion. You know, a person having a very big belly and being very fat, it does not stop him from actually jumping out of his favorite sport, because these guys love this sport. They love motorsport very, very well. I have seen more fat drivers actually being involved in motor rally. So it's not all about someone's appearance and you think maybe he will get an attack when he's driving. No, I don't think if it's that.
Okay. Gentlemen, International Volleyball Championship was hosted here in Uganda, sponsored by NSSF. It was on last week, actually this week, Saturday and Sunday at Lugogo Indoor Arena. Some games were played at Nambole, some were played in Makerere. Uganda was dominated from beginning to end. It was Rwanda in the women's finals, and Uganda was playing against Rwanda in the finals. Our only hope of getting silverware, it did not happen. The men's finals was a different call as well. SANTOS.
Yeah, when you don't harvest, rather when you don't actually when you don't invest, then you should not expect actually harvesting. So I think Rwanda, they have put in a lot of efforts, money, and the talent. They have the talent, then they have the money, and they've got the right people to use. That's why they are dominating. Even in these secondary school games, at the university games, to this international game, they are dominating. They have always won Uganda in volleyball. So to me, I think it was very bad that we didn't get any medal. The Uganda Vision volleyball team for ladies, they tried to win, but it was not easy for them. They were beaten. And of course, the men's side, we also lost. So I think we have to work hard. We are hosting, we are not getting any medal. It is bad, but it is good that we participated.
Okay, Rwanda Revenue Authority defeated KAVC in the women's finals, and of course in the men's finals was APR of Rwanda defeating Karehere. Same as well from Rwanda.
Well, this is not new. This is basically something that has been there before. Kampala Amateur Volleyball Invitation.
Height is our problem?
No, it's not height. It's not height. It's all about, I can say, pedigree. I think Ugandan volleyballers do not perform very well at home. There's a tournament that was actually played in the same arena. That's, I think, the African Championships, played at the same arena, which was purely dominated by Egypt. Now here we have the KAVC Memorial. Which again, last year it was dominated by Kenyans and Rwandese. In the women's category, Rwanda won. Men's category, I think it went down to Kenya. This time it's a little bit different.
It's Rwanda all the way.
It's Rwanda all the way. So you realize that I think the Rwandan side have purely invested a lot in volleyball. Rwanda Revenue Authority is there. They have, I can say, a whole bunch of very, very good sporting teams. From the Rwanda Revenue Authority to others, APR, they do play very, very good volleyball. So I'm not very surprised. I'm not surprised that Rwanda came here and dominated.
APR that belongs to the ruling party in Rwanda.
Yes, it is basically the AME side.
It has football, it has netball, it has every other sport discipline.
It is the AME side. It is the AME side. Actually, Uganda had the biggest number of teams. We had over 8 to 10 teams representing Uganda in both women's and men's categories. But at the end of the day, none of them actually showed us, I can say, good performance. But you have to give credit to the crowd that actually turned up for the final yesterday. Radio and Weasel were supposed to entertain the crowd, and I think they turned up. The opening game, Cindy actually opened up and entertained the crowd. I have to say I was very much impressed with the crowd. Look at the crowd turning up to actually support volleyball. They had a good crowd. Yeah, it would be very nice to see such crowd actually turning up to, not basketball, I would be very happy to see such a crowd coming up to watch at least a league game. Maybe when Nemo Stars is playing Kampala Amateur Volleyball Club, or maybe when Sport S is playing Nemo, it would be very good to see such crowd. But again, we can only have such crowd coming in for a very big international event.
Peter and SANTOS, those were the images from the International Volleyball Championship that was at Lugogo Indoor Arena.
Yeah, the winner walked away with $1,000
over the weekend.
Yeah, about 3 million.
We had the Cranes going to Rwanda, and it wasn't a good result in the first 35 minutes, there was 2 goals already. And I was thinking, oh my God, this is going to be Uganda playing against Sudan, the result that we had, 5-1. And I was thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? But for some reason, to my surprise, the boys stood up to the big occasion. And surprisingly, it ended 2-0.
Yeah, a very good game. And I want to credit Rwanda because they were prepared. Though, you can prepare, but at the end, in football, you have to be talented as well.
The talent is minimal.
Yes.
But of course, they have the facilities.
Yeah, they have whatever it takes. Playing on tough, I expected it, though it was as quick as we were like as if we are KCCA. You know, it is automatic that KCCA in the first 10 minutes or 20 in the CAF Confederations Cup, they must have conceded away from home.
Yes.
We conceded as early as 8th
2 goals,
minute.
yes.
Then in the 17th minute, we again conceded.
Yes.
But the boys settled down and controlled it, won the game. Rather lost 2-0, which was okay for us. But of course,
1-0, 2-0 was good.
Yeah, but of course, if we prayed, the last 20 minutes were on tension. Any player would think of defending, but again defending. What about when you concede the other goal?
Yes.
So it was a very tough game and very competitive. I never expected this from Rwanda, though I think they utilized the tough. They have been playing on tough, very many of them. I think even APL, clubs like Mukura, clubs like AS Kigali, they play at tough.
Yes.
Almost 80% of the players. So we have boys, or we have players who play on the tough, on artificial tough, players at KCCA. So,
but the rest play on natural grass.
Yes. So I don't know why, but the 2 goals we conceded, we could have avoided the 2 goals, especially the first goal. To me, we were not ready for the game. I don't know why. Either we went in the game knowing that we have already qualified because we had the best players on the pitch, but we did not perform well in the first 20 minutes. It was actually as if we respected Rwanda so much. We made very many mistakes.
Yes.
Every time we could hold the ball, we were actually losing it quickly. We respected Rwanda so much. I don't know why.
Pidotai, this was not Rwanda's major stadium for them to host Uganda. Uganda's team B playing against Rwanda. But if you look at the crowd, Uganda looks like we outnumbered Rwanda.
Actually, if you go down and watch the game, I can say 70% of the people that were in the crowd were Ugandan.
Yes.
Actually, they had trouble. That's one thing that I'll always give credit to Uganda. I think we have the best crowd. That's the second goal. We have the best crowd when it comes to traveling away from each country, because the Kenyans don't travel like us, the Rwandese will never travel like us, the Burundi team will never travel like us, but whenever the Uganda cranes
so it was red all the way.
It's red all the way. That's Uganda. They were at the gates as early as 10 a.m. in the morning, waiting to enter into the match. So we have to give credit to the boys who travel.
Head of delegation in president of this country, FUFA president of this country, Engineer Moses Magogo, was the first person to congratulate the team. The images that we've seen in the papers today were all smiles. The president is happy. We are going to Kenya, come what may.
It is a plus. It is a plus for him because it's in his regime again.
This man looks like he's a lucky man.
Yeah, he's lucky. He's lucky. He's very lucky that in his regime he has actually
so more money coming in to Uganda's Football Federation. Because once you're in the group stages, you're definitely guaranteed some money.
Yeah, you know, Engineer Moses Magogo, the FUFA president, is that person who really appreciates. It is very hard, I don't know, but in other federations, check. Even when we go and support, for instance, Mugura is fighting, very many people will come, but few people will talk. Actually, the federation president might not come to say thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for supporting these fighters. So, I mean, in football, irrespective of it being the only, I think, the first loved discipline in Uganda.
Yes.
But also the people running it, they know what it takes, to bring the crowd. Like this game, many people, of course, talked about it. FUFA publicized it. And winning away, then also the president was in attendance, and again he comes up on his he comes up and says, please, thank you very much. I saw him posting someone, Chaze Kasim, is a fan, one of the biggest fan, actually one of the one of the best fans here. He actually supported him and he was like, thank you very much. It is rare to such people of like that vote of thanks. I mean that when you receive a such thank from the president of the federation, I think you also get morale. So to me, from the leader to the players and the fans who traveled, and of course other Ugandans who were behind, it was a very big thing.
Mo Farah brought curtains down for track in London, in Birmingham, winning the 3,000 meters Diamond League in London. The man you see there with a bald head, shiny bald head, is a legend.
Yes, he is a legend when it comes down to the long distance athletes. He has been performing very well at both the 10,000 marathon, 5,000, 3,000. He has actually gone on to race in almost everything there is. Unfortunately, at the World Championships in London, he actually picked up a silver medal in the 5,000, but picked up a gold medal in the 10,000, where also a Ugandan, Cheptegei, came in number 2. He has been there. He has done it. Originally, I can say born in Somalia, but later on changing his nationality to British. I think he has performed very well, and in the Diamond League over the weekend, him going on to also win that one, it crowns up his entire, I can say, career of long distance running. And for me, he's one of the greatest when it comes to long distance running. So when you talk about long distance,
full-time
Mo Farah,
Olympic champion,
Mo Farah is,
OTAI, that's a career to talk about.
Mo Farah will be one of those people that you'll talk about, together with the former great all the way from Ethiopia, Selassie. So when you talk about Selassie, talk about Mo Farah, these are the guys who have purely dominated long distance running. These guys have dominated long distance running, and you have to give him credit for that. It's a career that he has held very well, and he has performed. He was not very happy with the British press. He claimed they wanted to distort his success and the career he has so far built to positive. But I think, to me, he's one of the legends that actually falls in that category of long distance running.
Mo Farah, I think, is retiring. He's going to start road racing.
Marathon. He's concentrating more on the marathon.
Yeah, now he's really retiring this. So I watched his interview, said he was dreaming of winning something for British
in the marathon,
and indeed he has done it. So he's happy and he's going to retire a legend. So let's pray for him. Maybe he performs better again in the marathon.
Pirotai, Floyd Mayweather, before he even gets into the ring, he's already 19 million pounds. Another check for that man, TMT. Another 19 million pounds for him. There's a big fight coming up, fighting against MMA fighter, martial arts fighter, McGregor. The British man who is anticipated to get a very big shock in that fight. But Mayweather, before he even gets into the ring, the shots are already worth 11 million pounds.
Yeah, there is a lot of money from this fight. First of all, the entire I can say stadium is a sellout. There is no free ticket. It took about 10 minutes for all the tickets to be sold out. 10 minutes. Then also there is the element of pay-per-view, that is television. So there is a lot of money from this fight. So if Mayweather is actually 17 million pounds richer before even he steps into the ring, I think he deserves it.
He said in the first press conference that he was talking to McGregor okay, they had a tour to promote the fight. Went to England, went to the US, went to Mexico to promote this fight. And then in that fight, he told McGregor that the $100 million check, I have never even cashed it. What are you saying? I am rich.
Yeah, he is, of course. He's team money. He's a promoter. He actually promotes his fights, and all the fights that he has actually promoted have been a very huge success. So
it's time for McGregor to get his 5 minutes of fame in the ring.
Yeah, McGregor is not a joking subject. 24 fights, winning 18 knockouts, and actually losing 3.
This is martial arts, Santos. So, boxing is completely different from martial arts. That you box and kick. Boxing,
Yeah,
they throw 100 punches in your face.
That's what people are asking themselves. What are we going to be watching? Are we going to be watching boxing?
Purely boxing. It's not.
Now, that's where the aspect comes through, because we don't know exactly what McGregor is going to be fighting. Yes, he's a very good...
He might forget and throw a kick.
I will see that. You know, there is anger. Who thought that Tyson would actually bite the ear of Evander Holyfield? So sometimes anger can kick in, and you know what? If you've watched Mayweather fight, he's a fighter who actually loves to, I can say, can I use the word insult? Whenever he's in the ring, he will annoy you. Ask Manny Pacquiao. There's a time when Manny Pacquiao actually lost his mind. So there's an element of annoyance that actually Floyd Mayweather puts into a fighter. I won't be surprised if a kick comes from nowhere, and this fight is actually called off.
Ended.
Yes, I won't be surprised if a kick comes from nowhere.
But I don't know why, but I'm putting my money on this
man. On McGregor?
Yes.
You're joking?
No.
How much money?
We shall talk.
I talk boxing even when I'm sleeping. How much money?
I know Mayweather is too defensive. This time he won't survive. He's not surviving.
Chelsea are back in business. They played Tottenham over the weekend. It was 2-1, ending Chelsea's surprise loss to Burnley last 2 weeks ago. So Chelsea back where they belong, but Tottenham, for a big surprise in there, they thought they had earned a point, and then all of a sudden, the tables turned. Yeah,
poor defensive display from the Chelsea side, most especially Wanyama losing that ball. Then it resulted into a goal coming in from Alonso. But again, it was a super free kick from Alonso over there. And did you see the own goal scored by Batshuayi? Oh my God. Now, for me, I have to say, Chelsea Football Club were so lucky to win this match, because Spurs probed to try and square a goal, but they were denied by the post, denied by the performance of the goalkeeper. If you saw the goal that was scored, it was an own goal. And of course, Harry Kane again failing to score in August. Something is actually wrong. But you have to give credit to Chelsea Football Club for a job well done, missing Gary Cahill, missing Fabregas, you know, but they still stood out to win the game.
Arsenal exposed at Stoke City. It was his career 23rd, I think, red card. And then, of course, as well, in the Madrid game, there was another red card. But of course, it was a win for Real Madrid and a win for Barcelona. Not convincing, though, but they are wins.
Yeah, both sides had to begin with a win because, you know, the competition is between the two, Real Madrid and Barcelona Football Club.
And Atletico leaving it late to draw against Gijon.
Yeah, that is Atletico for you. But again, like we say, if Real Madrid wins, of course, Barcelona Football Club will also demand to win its game. So it's basically the competition of the two in that element.
So Paris Saint-Germain, the biggest man today, the man that's known around the world as the most expensive player in the world, Neymar scores a brace in the opener at home.
Yeah, actually, he has my money to win the Ballon d'Or next season, or rather this season.
You're joking?
No, I'm telling the truth.
Ballon d'Or already, Peter?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the reason that's why he left Barcelona Football Club. He was in the shadow of Messi.
He has scored 3 goals in 2 games, and he participated in all the 5 goals yesterday. Out of 6 goals,
6-2.
He participated in 5 goals at PSG.
Yeah.
I think he's a darling. If you watch that,
he's already a darling in the second game.
That second goal. Then again, if you watch that Uzawa goal, it was typical Brazilian. The real Brazil that we know, it was yesterday's a day for Neymar.
Peter Santos, thank you so much for being here for this edition of Sports Galore. The producer of the show, Mr. Othman Sempewa, and executive producer, Mr. Dean Chibirge, thank you so much for making sure that we have Sports Galore. Champions League at the group stages will be back here on UBC. Europa 2 will be back here on UBC. Normal quality programming is on next. Good afternoon.